Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Kasya Alia binti Muhammad Raji, and today I will be presenting what confidence is not. So, have you ever looked at someone and thought, wow, they're so confident? Maybe it is someone who can speak in front of a large crowd, in a large audience, or maybe someone who always shares their thoughts and opinions with people, or maybe people there are some people who seems comfortable in every situation. But what if I tell you that confidence is not what we often think it is? So today I would like to talk about confidence, not by explaining what it is, but defining it by what it is not. So by explaining this today, I hope that you guys have a better understanding of confidence, and maybe you guys can see it from different perspective. So there are many misunderstandings about confidence, because some people think that confidence is about being arrogant, being perfect, and being and and never feeling afraid. However, none of these things are true. So let's start by looking at the first common misconception, which is confidence is not arrogance. Many people confuse confidence with arrogance because they can look similar sometimes, because confident and arrogant people may talk with certainty. However, there is a big difference between the two. Confidence is about believing in yourself without looking down on others. And arrogant people usually put others down because they want to make themselves feel superior, to feel they're the best. They think their opinions are always right. So on the other hand, confident people do not need to behave this way. They respect themselves while respecting others. They do not see mistake as a failure. Instead, they see them as opportunities to improve better. For example, if a student receives a criticism from a lecturer, a confident person would take that positively and improve themselves, while arrogant person would be defensive and refuse to listen. So yeah, now that we have discussed the first common misconceptions, let us take a look at the second one. Confidence is not perfection. Many people believe that they need to be perfect before because they want to feel confident. They think they must have a good grade, a perfect skills, perfect grades, and even a perfect life. The truth is that no one is perfect. So when people set a high bar of standards for themselves, they become more afraid of failing. As a result, they may stop and lose the opportunity to try new things because they are worried about failing. And think about learning how to ride a bike. Most people do not learn it perfectly by their first attempt. They may fall sometimes, but as you practice it every day, cycling becomes easier and you become better. So it is the same. And confidence comes from accepting imperfections. Confident people do not usually compare themselves, but instead, because they acknowledge that everyone has their own capabilities and journeys, so they also know that their value as a person does not depend on being perfect, and making mistake is or having weaknesses do not make them less worthy. Instead of trying to be perfect, they focus on becoming a better version of themselves. Finally, let's take a look at the last point, which confidence is not the absence of fear. This is probably one of the biggest misconceptions of confidence, because people think that confident people are not scared. They never feel nervous. However, that is simply not true, because the feeling of fear is normal. It is part of our life. So everyone experiences fear in different situations. So for example, speaking in public, attending job interview, or maybe they want to try new things that completely new. So everyone may feel nervous in different way. So feeling afraid does not mean a person lacks of confidence, but even even highly successful people feel afraid and nervous or self-doubt time to time. But it's but there is a difference, because it is not that they have no fear, but it is how they respond to it, how you handle things. For example, many students nervous before giving a presentation, and despite the nervousness, presenting your slides also is an act of confidence. So confident people understand that growth often happen outside your comfort zone. So it is actually okay to feel nervous, because if you feel nervous, if you never face your fear, you would never discover what you're truly capable of achieving. So to conclude my speech today, I would like to remind everyone that confidence is not about being arrogant, being perfect, or being fearless. True confidence comes from respecting yourself and others, and acknowledging your mistakes, and moving forward even when you feel afraid. So by understanding what confidence is not, we can develop a healthier and more realistic view of confidence. And lastly, remember that confidence is not about being the absolute best, perfect, or fearless. It is about believing in yourself and continuing to move forward one step at a time. Thank you. That is all from me.